all three of you guys kind of just walk me through how you were originally cast?
I think I don't know, it might have been around Thanksgiving, doing the holiday with family, and I was single at the time, and someone reached out to me through social media. And it was actually one of my followers from TikTok who recommended me to casting. And then they reached out to me and they were like, oh, we think you'd be great. And I was like, I don't know about this. And then I watched the first season and I was like, oh, okay, I really like this. It's very cute and it felt very like wholesome and just kind of like, I definitely the magic of like the castle and all of that pulled me in. So that's what got me interested, and I was like, well, maybe I could actually meet someone. So that's how the casting went for me.
Mine's is a bit of a funny story. So one of the girls, her name was Sarah, who was recruiting for the show, swiped me on Bumble, so I matched her. And we were like talking about going on a date, and she was in Miami, which is like 45 minutes from me. But she was like good looking, so I was excited about it. I was like, yeah. She's like, oh, you know what? I actually missed you. I'm back in LA now. But hey, how about a reality TV show? Have you ever thought about that? I was like, oh darn it, I'm getting scammed here. Like, no. But then we hopped on a FaceTime, and it sounded legit. I checked it out, and after a little while, she goes, well, you know, if you come to audition for the show, we can meet up, go on a date or whatever. So I was like, okay, sign me up. I guess so. Why not? So that's how it all started.
Oh my gosh. Did you guys ever connect in that way or no?
No, we didn't. You know, kind of once I like processed the fact that, well, I could actually be dating multiple people, you know, this might be a good opportunity. We went that route, but that's how I was introduced to the show.
I was reached out to on social media, on Instagram. A guy, he reached out to me and was like, he has a very unique dating opportunity. And again, I was also single at the time. I was in my little COVID bubble. I was going to work, coming home, sitting on my couch, watching YouTube. And he FaceTimed me a couple of days later. I had forgotten about the call. And I was hanging out with my cousin. He randomly FaceTimed, like it was a random FaceTime, unknown number. And I was like, an unknown call, I won't answer, but an unknown FaceTime, I was like, okay, that's really interesting. So I answered it and it was him. I was like, oh, hey, I totally remember. I did not remember.
I would love to talk about your guys' first thoughts pulling up on this like gorgeous castle. Did you have any expectations going into it? Like Amanda having watched the first season too, but what was that whole unique experience like living in this dream fairy tale?
I feel like they definitely picked a place to have this that looked like a painting. And so in terms of scenery, I mean, I'm such a big nature person, so that really added so much to just the wow factor of it all. And then just, of course, the big, beautiful lodge decorated for Christmas. It definitely swept you up and just like, wow. So yeah, I enjoyed that.
I agree with Amanda in that the size, even just the size of the lodge, it just made you feel like a little kid again. And with all the decorations, it just made you feel like really happy and just like really festive and just like really reminiscent of like that Christmassy time.
Yeah, that was true for me too. I remember walking up and just taking a look at it for the first time, walking in, and the decorations and everything was so on point. It was so impressive. Like every little detail was thought of. And walking in, and the first thing I saw, you know, Amanda and Markelle, and we clicked pretty instantly. At least I thought so. And I was like so excited. It did. I felt like a kid, you know. You just walk out and you see like a present that it's like wrapped, but you don't know what it is. But it looks like just I can't wait to open it up. That's kind of how it started off for me.
Did any of your guys' potential suitors really kind of shock you right out of the gate, or had like a super wild entrance for you?
Probably about definitely two girls caught my eye like right off the bat, and they were pretty fantastic entrances. That's like a staple of the show, is you never know how somebody is going to appear, and that's one of the exciting parts about it.
I mean, I would say all of my daters, they came out in like very surprising manners. There were a couple that like really caught my eye. So I'll just kind of leave it at that.
For me, they definitely all really stood out and surprised me. I would say, yeah, there was definitely a couple that stood out to me more, and where I was just kind of like the same kind of reaction as walking into a lodge. I was just like, wow. So, and I'll leave it at that too.
It's funny because a couple times when a girl would walk in, it was the first impression. I kind of look around like, is she here for me? You know? And then when I realized, like, I hope so. Not there for Markelle.
Definitely not for me.
Not gonna lie, there was one of yours, Danny. Well, actually, I think more than one, where I was like, "Is that for me? I hope so."
I was like how it played out, because the first season too, like there are some like other hookups because everyone's living together too, different orientations, different genders. And did you guys run into anything like that? Was anyone fighting over the same people, or did any of the suitors kind of get into it and you're like, no, we're the leads, attention over here?
Everybody got in there and was just like, no, I'm kidding. There was definitely some crossover.
It was
between
my frenzy. Just kidding.
Hungry info.
The free for all. No.
No, there was some crossover between some of my daters. But I just had to let it happen, let the process happen as it was going to happen. And then, I feel like it ended the way that it should have.
Yeah, I think Markelle definitely handled that exceptionally. And in my case, I feel like I'm going to watch the show and learn a lot of things that I didn't know. It should be fun. So.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same. There's definitely crossovers happening, and I think I'm gonna learn a lot watching it too. It'll be interesting to see everything that's going on behind the scenes. So yeah, I mean, we haven't really seen anything, so it'll be we might learn some new information. But yeah, I mean, I feel like there wasn't any like fighting or anything. I feel like everybody was handled themselves as adults.
Yeah, one thing that was kind of funny to find out. Oh, go ahead, Markelle.
No, I was just saying we handled ourselves as adults the best we could.
Yeah, the best we could. That's
pretty true. No, I was gonna say Amanda and I actually have very similar tastes, so that was one thing that was kind of funny to find out. We didn't have any. We talked it out though. We didn't have any issues, but it was just a funny realization. It was like, oh, we are in the same type of girl.